I'm going to show you how to do the clipping mask project that I introduced yesterday in class. First thing, you need to make sure that you go through and pick out pictures that go with each of your letters for your name, and remember that those need to be high quality images. So get those found and put into your project folder before you begin. We're going to start in Photoshop Elements Editor, and we're going to go to File, New, Blank File. And this time we want a long, narrow canvas because we are going to be doing our name, which is a little bit longer than just the standard picture. I'm going to name this my name and CM for clipping mask. And I'm going to do a width of 8 and a height of 3 and leave my resolution at 300. I'm going to click OK. It's going to give me a new canvas. Notice that it's long, and notice that it created this background layer over here. This is actually going to be your background color later, and I'll show you how to change that here in a little bit. The next thing that you want to do is do a new layer, and you do that by going up to Layer and clicking New and then Layer. And you're going to name this whatever you are putting in for your name. I'm going to do my last name, so I put Williams in. Notice it added a layer above the background layer. It should build above as you go. You want to put text on this layer. This is where you're going to put your name. So you want to come over here and get the text tool. And notice when I click on the text tool that the toolbar up here at the top is going to change. This is your text color, your text size, your font, and then you're going to have to pick a font that is a fat font. I call them fat fonts. If you don't pick something that is a wide or a fat font, you're not going to be able to see the picture very well behind it. So take a look at some of them and figure out which one you want to use. Make sure that this color swatch is not the same as your background. So if my background's white, this should not be white. Otherwise, what you type will not show up. So I'm going to come down here and click on my canvas, and then I'm going to type in my name. Now, that's a little on the large side, so let's highlight that and change that. And that's probably too small, so probably want it somewhere in between. So let's do 130. That's still too big. 125. 120, 10, 100. That's good. We'll go with that because I can move it and change the size of it in just a second. So once I'm done with that, I'm going to click on the Move tool. And then what I can do is I can actually move this around. I can squish it and make it the size that I want it. And I'm actually going to pull it out here a little bit. Notice I've got really wide letters. That's a good thing because that's going to allow you to see the image behind those letters. So I'm going to pull this out, make it kind of even, and then I'm going to click the check mark when I'm done. Now what I want to do is start putting those images in and creating the actual clipping mask for each of those. So I'm going to click on the name layer so that the next layer goes directly above it. I'm going to go up to File, and I'm going to go to Place, and I'm going to find the folder that I have those images in. And I'm going to do my Ohio State logo for my first one, and I'm going to click Place. And that's going to stick that layer on top of my name layer. And then I want to move this to where I actually want to place it. And I would start with at the left and work to the right. Don't start in the middle. It'll cause you all kinds of grief and problems. So I'm going to kind of squish this just a little bit because I want it to fit on my W, most of it, so you can tell what it is. And then I'm going to click the check mark. Well, you're saying, okay, it's in front of. Now's where we're going to actually create the clipping mask. So you're going to take your cursor, which is a little arrow right there now. When I move it over here into the layers, it turns into a hand with a little pointer finger. Well, you want the little pointer finger on the line between the two layers, and then you're going to push the Option key on the keyboard and hold that down. Watch what happens to the hand. It turns into little dots. Then you're going to left click on your mouse. Notice what that did. It shifted it over, and it put it behind the W where I want it. Now, you can actually maneuver this around, like if I don't have it centered exactly the way I want it, I can shift it around. But also notice that it's in the I and part of the L. I don't want that. I want to make sure I'm on that layer, okay? And then I'm going to use the eraser tool, and I'm going to erase that image out of my letter I and out of my letter L, because I have other images that I'm going to put there. So I am now done with that first layer. Now what I want to do is do the same thing again. Do File, Place, find your next image. I want to use this image because it's kind of shaped like an eye. And I'm going to resize it a little bit so that it's closer to the, and bring it over here to my letter I and click my check mark. Notice it did the same thing it did before, added a layer above the last one. I'm going to come over here with my pointer finger, hold the Option, left click on my mouse. Now notice it's behind the I, but it's also behind or over top of what I did on my W, and it's on my L. Make sure that you're on that layer and use the eraser. Erase what you don't want on the W. Notice it's only erasing what is on the layer I'm currently selected on. It's not erasing the other layer. And when you're finished with this, you can continue and do the rest of the letters of your name.